All right, our guest speaker hails from the Texas area. No telling where she's at. She's was got bold enough to start off in the locksmith business, and somebody introduced her to the power of network marketing, residual income, and she said, "I'm tired of this." And she, excuse me, put her feet down and put her mind and got started, put her head down, and went to work, and built a strong organization. Matter of fact, Mr. Douglas Soto's part of the organization he's on. She's also decided to go to Lubbock, Texas, and call one of the co-founders. Hey, Tony Cooper, I need you to come and Lubbock. And she said at the time she didn't know nobody there. She didn't have nobody built there. And she said, I'm going to go make it happen. See, that's the sign of a leader. They make things happen when everybody else is doubtful. Write that one down. They make things happen when everybody is doubtful. It's amazing how people get to a certain level in ACN and kind of like a plane, they level off. They don't do any more production, no more IBOs, no more customers, and now all of a sudden they're playing heads down toward the ground. This lady is always taking off like a rocket ship. And she's planted her feet firm on the ground. She's always given us truthful information that we can all know that it's real. And I want to thank her back to the call today. Can we give a warm welcome to none other than Ms. Roxann Corralejo?
Good morning, everybody. Oh my goodness. I appreciate that, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate you. I love that. I love that you said that. They make it happen. And that's the truth. That's been a motto of my life. To be honest, so much stuff has happened in my life at a very young age. And that's just always, I make it happen. And you guys have heard me say it before, is that whenever people are trying to schedule me or work around my calendar or schedule, I'll say, I'll make it work. Just get it scheduled and we'll make it work. And that's the truth of it, you guys. That really has been the motto of my entire life. And I love that was kind of instilled on me in a really young age. And I've been able to develop into that and be able to, because I possess something like that, be mentored by amazing people like Mr. Thomas. And it was one thing that I heard what is yesterday, and I know I have it written down in my notes. It was Jeff Weber said, love your people, do not fall in love with your people. And that's the truth of it. And it's love them, love on them, but don't fall in love with them. Because when you fall in love with them, then when you fall in love, you do some crazy things and you start chasing people. And so one thing is that I know Mr. Thomas loves us. He loves his people. He loves his group. He's like, I don't know, maybe some people. And I know that he loves us, but there are a few select people that actually step up. A few select people that just does what it takes. A few select people that are willing to drive out to Fresno to see him or call him or reach out to him. And he just loves on us so much. And that really hit home when I heard that yesterday by Mr. Jeff Weber. But that's the truth and the fact of all the leaders. They'll put their attention to where attention is deserved, not where attention is needed. And that's so great. And it's something I've learned, because I know this job or what we do here with ACN can be pretty daunting when we put our time into where it's needed, because those are people we're pushing and we're egging on. We're like, come on, I know you need the money. Well, you know what? You can bring a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. And I've learned just all that through Mr. Thomas and all the other leaders that he's had on this call. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love how much you travel to just share this with other people. Because something Mr. Williamson brought up today, and I wanted to talk about something completely different today and just changed everything up. So bear with me for a second, you guys. But what Mr. Williamson said when Mr. Thomas just pretty much said, well, we're not looking for you anyway. And it's funny, you have to have that posture, that backbone and posture. And some people are too scared to say stuff like that, but that's honestly the truth of it. We're looking for those that are interested. So if you're not interested, cool, we're not looking for you. No hard feelings. It's just their words. We got to change the conversation sometimes, because some people are taking so offense to things. And it's like, hey, don't be offensive. You're offended that we're not looking for you. Well, we're looking for people who are interested. Are you interested? No, we're not looking for you. That's it. A plus B equals C. Nothing about that. I had a conversation with a gentleman. There was an event in Los Angeles and he lives out there. And I said, hey, are you in Southern California right now? But this gentleman, I will backtrack a little bit. This was a while ago. He messaged me just on my traveling and things I'm doing, stuff I post. And he said, hey, I'm sick and tired of what it is I'm doing. I want to do what you're doing. Are you hiring? I'm great. I'll send you my resume. And I hear that a lot, you guys, which I think is kind of funny, is I'll send you my resume. I definitely want to start working with you. And I said, hey, let me show you what I have going on. I showed him. He wasn't interested. Okay, no big deal. Well, there was an event in California, and this was probably 6 months ago. We always follow back up with people because their situations and timings might change. And the reason why I share this one with you is because first, I want to tell you guys that everyone gets no's. Mr. Thomas gets no's. Roxann Corralejo gets no's. Mr. Williamson gets no's. But it's having that posture about it when you get them. That's really what changes it. Don't get offended to get no's. It's just changing that conversation. So I reached out to him and I just said, hey, you in SoCal today? And he said, yeah, why? I thought that was funny. Like, are you? Like, come on. Or he said, hi, why? He didn't even say yeah. And I said, LOL, gotta see what's up first. And he said, yes, you're trying to Ponzi scheme me. And that was funny. I was already typing and I said, wanted to invite you to an entrepreneurial event. It says invent. You guys, you don't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect, but he understood an entrepreneurial event taking place, mostly leaders in real estate and solar, but open to all entrepreneurs and aspiring, because I already know he's an employee. He has a boss. That's what he originally reached out to me because he didn't want to do that anymore. And then he rolls his eyes and then I comment back because now I'm reading the Ponzi scheme. And I say, Ponzi scheme. Hey, if it's legal and makes me money, I'm open to anything. And then I didn't include the rest of it because we were just going back and forth. But I just said, bro, you're the one that hit me up. You're the one that asked if I was hiring. I gave you an opportunity. And he just kind of laughed about it. And he goes, yeah, no, I appreciate you for thinking of me, because it has been 6 months and I thought about him for this event. Or I did say, well, I was thinking about you. I was introducing you to some pretty significant big leaders out there in Los Angeles. But if you're not interested, no biggie. You're the one that hit me up. And he goes, no, I appreciate you. This just isn't for me. And it's not having that backbone to be rude about it, because this, again, is just a conversation. But it was just jokingly having fun. I showed him. He wasn't interested. 6 months later, I gave him an opportunity to see it again. He's still not interested. This has been going on years, you guys, that he just keeps saying that he's tired of having a boss and tired of going through this. And maybe one day it'll click, maybe it won't, but it doesn't matter. The opportunity is still there and we're still friends. Because if I came at a defensive type of personality about it, like, what do you mean? You're the one that hit me up. Like, come on now. Like, you're going to be talking trash to me or whatever it is, then we would be unfriended on Facebook and I would never have an opportunity to reach back out to him again. But I just think that this is funny, is having that posture about things, and that backbone doesn't mean to be rude, just being confident in yourself. And you hear me say that all the time, but being confident in what we have to offer. So now what I originally wanted to talk about was my conversation last week. My conversation last week was about three-way texting. Was a kind of a big thing, but working with your people from start to finish. Remember, do not let a new person control and dictate your legacy. Hold their hand through the process. I had someone that kept saying, I'm trying to get people in front of you. I'm trying to get people in front of you. Several days have got by. I got nobody in front of me. And I said, hey, meet me right now at a coffee shop. So we met up at a coffee shop, and she has 3 pages, lists of names and numbers. So in my head, I'm thinking, like, how are we not sitting down with anybody? But I'm like, because I haven't sat down with her. So I said, hey, who's this person? Tell me a little bit about her. Okay, we're going to give her a call right now. Oh, she's not going to answer. No biggie. We'll leave her a voicemail or we'll send a text, but give her a call right now and said, hey, just wanted to catch up with you. I know you must have had a busy weekend. And I gave her a little just script, 3 sentences. But I definitely wanted to introduce you to my friend Roxann. Like I told you, she's sitting here right with me. Do you have a quick second? She did that with 4 people and got me on the phone with 4 people. They answered. They had a second. They were from East Coast to West Coast. They were in Texas, all over the place. But that's the thing, because I sat with her. I made her feel confident. She picked up the phone, called people, and passed it off. And we had 3 appointments set up just from sitting with her for maybe 30 minutes, just building that confidence in her. And I said, hey, you're welcome to make these calls now that you know the script, that you know what you're doing. You're welcome to make these calls now. And I just get us on a 3-way text. And she was like, okay, I love it. I haven't gotten anything since then. So what am I going to do? I'm going to call her today and say, hey, when do you have another 30 minutes to sit with me? And I'm going to make these calls with her. But what I wanted to talk about, let me close this out. That's been up here way too long. Let me see here. Let's go to, I don't know what that is. Hold on a second, guys. The reason why I brought that up is because after my conversation last week, Sharian messaged me. And I love it. Thank you, Sharon. You're freaking awesome. Some people didn't. And sometimes I do this so much with my three-way talks and stuff that I think is simple and is a no-brainer to some people. But if you don't have a script, how do you know if you haven't done it before? So I really appreciate you reaching out to me, Sharon. And that's exactly what she did. It was starting here. And I have these, and I know you guys, it's not going to be hard to write them down. But I do want you to at least pay attention and listen to this over and over again. Take screenshots, whatever you have to do. But she just reached out and she said, hey, I attempted to write down what you were saying. I talk fast. I know that part's hard. But she asked me if I had a script. And I said, I don't. I really don't have a script. It's just in here because I cater it to each person. It changes a little differently if I'm talking to an insurance agent, a real estate agent. It's the same information, just a little bit differently. So I said, I don't have a script, but here's an example of what I actually just had a conversation with a real estate investor. She wanted to connect me with another real estate investor. And so this is how the three-way text went. It said, now this is my IBO sending it to her investor talking about me. It says, and I will type this up for someone and send it to them to send to someone else. Hey, Jessica, I just met with someone who's helping people monetize their real estate expenses. Sounds pretty stinking awesome. I want you to connect with her. Can I put y'all on a three-way text? That's it. That is how simple you have to be. Do not get into the weeds about stuff. And the answer is going to be yes or no. Yes, put them on a three-way text. No, okay, no big deal. That's not your person. On something like this, you really shouldn't get a no. There's no reason you should get a no. If you're getting no's, that means you're doing too much. Speak with someone, speak with your mentor, change up your script a little bit. So now here's another example. I said sample of a three-way text that actually came through from one of my IBOs. And I just copied and pasted, you guys. I did not create anything for Sharon. This is stuff that we already have in the works. And just to give you a little backstory, she was at Sally's shopping, piqued the person helping her, got her number, immediately put me on a three-way text. That is our routine. Immediately. She said, thank you, Roxann, for allowing me to share your number. I would like to virtually introduce you to Alyssa. I just met Alyssa, and I absolutely love her vibe and energy. She works at Sally's Beauty Supply, and I was super impressed with her knowledge of the products I was asking about. She's interested in knowing more about what we do. Talk about the person, say some good things about them, make them know that, like, hey, they're important. They're an important person. She did that. She said, I loved her energy. And then she said some good things about me. Alyssa, meet Roxann Corralejo. Like I mentioned to you, she is a phenomenal person inside and out, and her personality is super contagious. Aw, thank you. She used to live in San Antonio, sold her half of her locksmith business, left San Antonio to move Lubbock and start her business here in Lubbock from scratch, not knowing a single soul here in Lubbock. And she is having massive success. She is a top producing regional director and so close to becoming the top producing for regional vice president. Oh, I cannot wait for you to meet her in person. You guys, this is something that she can copy and paste to every single cold market prospect, just changing a couple names. That is it. Super simple script. She didn't talk about ACN, didn't talk about the services, didn't talk about income, didn't talk about anything, but just talked about me. I just want y'all to meet. That's all I'm doing is I'm a professional connector. Now, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because I think, here we go. So now as the leader, this is your job. So that's what you were telling your new IBOs to do. Now your job is to respond. Thank you so much, Trish. Hi, Alyssa. It is so great to virtually meet you. You sound like great people. I love meeting positive vibe and great energy people. Are you free to connect later on this evening for a quick 5 to 10 minute phone conversation? I'd love to properly meet you. Again, nothing about services. I want to get them on the phone because the main goal is to get them to see the business. That's it. Not talk about it, anything like that. She said, it's just our conversation of, hey, just scheduling. That stuff happens. And I said, after work, immediately when she's free, I try to schedule something. I don't wait till next week. I don't wait till Friday. It's immediately, hey, you're off at 6. Let's schedule a conversation at 6:15. So I get her on the phone. And the only job I have on the phone conversation is, hi, Alyssa. Trish said you really wanted to hear about what we're doing. You sound like great people. We're looking for great people. Listen, we have a call this evening, or at this point tomorrow. We can meet tomorrow. Are you free at this time to connect? I really want to show you what we have. I don't talk about the business over the phone. I don't talk about the services. I don't talk about anything. She could have said, what is it? But she didn't, because of the way the conversation went. She didn't say any of that. She just said, I'm in. When can we meet? We met right away. And that's where she saw the business. That's all we do. Too many people get stuck on these conversations, these three-way texts. What do I say? It says the same thing over and over and over. When are you free to see the opportunity? Pretty much that's all it is. So let me go back to another conversation. And that's what I'm going to do today, you guys, is just break down. And I didn't realize I needed to break down these messages. And I'm glad Sharon messaged me so that I can do this for you guys. Because now this is training here. This is deep training. I said, I also have people who are referring customers. So if people want to refer customers to you, I showed someone the business. She didn't want to sign up. She really loved Impact. She wanted to get her kids in front of me. Great. And then she said, you know what, Roxann, I have a friend that's going to be that needs some health care. And I said, awesome. Instead of give her my number and me wait a whole 6 months for her to actually freaking call me, I said, get us on a three-way text immediately. I gave her some advice what to say. And this is someone that's not an IBO, but is referring me a customer. She said, good morning, Florence and Roxann. I'm sending this text to both of you so you can communicate with one another. Roxann, thank you for sending the quote to me last night, which I forwarded to Florence. That's all she did. She's like, hey, my friend just wants to know numbers. She didn't even give me her number. So I gave her the quote. And then it says, a lovely girlfriend with whom I went to high school with. And I asked her too, can you put something about Florence in that three-way message? And she says, I told her you'd explain the healthcare sharing plan with her. And thank you for your assistance. You can provide blessings. And that was her message. And so what I did is I responded, thank you for the connection, opened up another text thread because she doesn't need to see the conversation. She's not an IBO. I'm not training her. So I opened up another text conversation and all I said is, hey, when are you free to talk? I'm not explaining anything in text. We had a quick phone conversation. She loved it. I'm getting her on Thursday. Thursday, she's going to be on the call with, what is it? Oh, I'm brain farting right now. That one of the impact calls, the customer calls on Thursday evening with the Williams. She's going to be on that call to learn more, but she's like, I'm in. She's already talking to me and listing people that she's interested. She hasn't even seen the opportunity yet. She will. She doesn't know it. And then I'm going to go back to Mary Lou and say, hey, your friend is signing up in the business. Are you ready to get started? This is how the trend works. But I keep it simple. When are you open for a conversation? I think that was it here. I said the phone conversation. I just scheduled a meeting. And then that's it, you guys. So I have one more I want to show you. I know I'm getting close on time and I like to be really good about your guys' time. Let me go back. Where was it? Oh, yes. Snapshotted it in photos. I tried to prepare for you guys here. Okay, so now three-way text messages. Sometimes when we put a new rep on three-way text messages and their only job is to connect them with you, they think their job is to explain. We can't control that sometimes if it happens in the process. So this is the gentleman that got me. We did a presentation for him at his house for a handful of people. And he connected us on a three-way text. Hey, Mel, this is Roxann. Roxann, this is Mel. It was great seeing you today. All the things. And then we reached out to Mel. It took Mel a little bit to get back to us. And this is Mel's conversation. Now, this is the prospect and says, good afternoon. Sorry, I'm just getting back to you both. I've been a little busy to answer your question because the question was, what did you like best? I don't like to do that over a text message. So I messaged the rep, hey, this is a phone conversation type of thing, but Mel answered anyway. And it says, the main thing I was interested in was the extra income. I just wasn't sure about the starting due to have to pay that fee. Was it a one-time deal and monthly or just one time? So that was his question. Now, again, our job is not to explain anything via text, but the new rep responded before I had a chance to the three-way text. And that's why I like three-way text, so we can see everything that's going on, because sometimes people say, oh, they just never responded to my text and never responded back. Well, I don't know what the reason is if I don't see it. And so the response was, that is excellent question, which we always train to respond with. Let me explain. And then he goes in explaining. It's there, guys. I don't have to read it. Talks about the website, talks about the business, talks about the services, gives them a link, all the things. It's right here. Then you see it continues. And then so he continues to talk about, let's see, your complete service profile, and then talks all the great things, yeah, that we get with ACN. We do all of this. We will do all of this with you, Mel. You are not alone in the business. You're in business for yourself, not by yourself. We help you get your first few customers. We help you identify and invite the first few business partners. And then he goes into the fast start bonus. This is way too much over text message. And then he says, here are my goals. And then he lists his goals and what he's trying to do. And obviously you see Mel didn't respond. He didn't respond to this. He's still 100% interested. So he did not toast them, but this is just too much. How do you respond to something like that? But then he goes into his goals. And then so my response when I got a chance, and I just said, happy Saturday, Mel, completely understand how that goes, because he said, sorry, it took so long to respond. And then I said, life be lifing too much sometimes, for sure. The extra income is what got me too. So I went back to just what he said. What did you like best? The extra income. Cool. That's what got me too. I like that. The extra income is what got me too. Birds of a feather. Are you free tomorrow, 7:30? Again, I didn't really go into anything else. Are you free? Your question was about how much you got to pay. Guess what? We're going to be going over that tomorrow at 7:30. Let's get you on that call and get him onto the next call. And then lastly, my response to the new rep. So this is also really important. Did I have that? Yeah. So my response to the new rep and saying, hey, that's too much, don't ever respond again. I didn't do that because they need to start learning how to do stuff on their own. I said, hey, a good response for Mel in case this question pops up again for someone else is no worries, understand how that goes, because again, respond to him being busy. Yes, one time have access to all your partners, platforms, and $25 a month to monitor all the changing parts, prices, promos, etc. Anything else or I just told him anything else is too much. So I did tell him, hey, a better response is yes, it is one time. That's it. Pretty much that's all you say. But if you notice my response to it, I didn't even say that. I just invited the next call. But I know some people have that need to answer questions. Let's fulfill that need in the beginning with short answer questions. If you can't not answer at all, let's do really short answer questions until we develop and learn how to not answer, because it does take a skill to not answer. Like that's the first thing we want to do. So I hope that was helpful in breaking down a little bit about what I talked last week. I know Sharian is loving it. So if you guys have any questions about anything I discussed, always feel free to reach out. She reached out to me on WhatsApp, you guys. I'm on the Al Thomas's call thing. You can find my number on there if you don't have it now. Just reach out, ask questions. I know that helps me develop as a leader to know where I need to dig deeper. Because sometimes what I think comes naturally to me isn't going to come naturally to other people. And same thing, what comes naturally to other people isn't going to come naturally to me. So you guys, that is live in action, exactly cut and paste messages I sent out to a number of people, from customers to prospects to new reps. That is all I have for you guys today, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate you. And that actually was kind of fun for me to break that down a little bit, but I'll give the call back to you.